Hey, Mike here. REI has a bike sale that's going on. It is one of the best deals on two particular bikes that I'm going to share with you right here on the screen. And that is, of course, REI's very own co-op cycles. And with this price drop, this makes it the best deal for a lot of people. Now, they're the co-op cycles generation e1.2 and the generation e1.1. Now, these two have been dropping in price over the past year or so. I think this might be it. This might be the final price drop because it hit that magical barrier that makes sense for a lot of people who are interested in looking to get their first or maybe potentially their only e-bike. Now, the e1.2 is more expensive by about $200, but for that, what you get is this nice rack over here in the front, and you also get a bigger battery. So if you need more range, the e1.2 might be for you. Now, where the e1.1 beats it, though, is that if you can see here, the subtle difference here is the fork. The e1.1 comes with a suspension fork. It's more of a pogo stick type of fork. It's not one of those real ready for off-roading things, but it does smooth out a lot of the potholes that are around town, according to a bunch of other reviews. So if that matters more to you, I think it's better choice to get the e1.1. You can always add some sort of storage or rack system up front if you need to, but it's got a nice built-in rack in the back already, which is good enough for most people. But if you're like an Uber delivery driver, you'll probably want the front rack. Obviously, the best combination is to get the 1.2 with a bigger range and battery, and then have that built-in rack, build out a little bit more of a shelf for that, and then you can also swap out the fork. Now, honestly, I don't know how easy that is going to be, but it could make sense for a lot of people. Now, the reason why you want to get this versus some other lesser known name brands is, one, REI is going to support you all the way for a year, at least. And that's just like having a great local bike shop that can help you with anything that you need on your bike. And number two, this is a tried and true design. Features a Bafang motor, which is used in a lot of popular entry-level bicycles, like e-bikes. They're very well known, very reliable, and on top of that, this battery, I know there have been some people saying some reviews that it's going to be a little bit difficult to get this battery, but really it isn't, because you can actually order it direct from REI if you want. I had checked in on this before. I think it's like $500. It comes in and out of stock, but at the same time, because this system is like this, you can buy this type of battery just about anywhere. And it won't be too hard for you to replace it if you know a little bit of a DIY, because a lot of these connectors in here are more standard. So you could just replace it with a third party. I will confirm that later if anybody's interested. I'm sure there's someone that's done it before. And overall, for less than $1,000, particularly for these two bikes, I think it's the best deal just for general air bike. Now, who is this not good for? If you need a folding version that will fit, this looks kind of small, right? It just makes it easier for an entry-level bicycle person to get familiar with e-bikes. So this will not fit as small as it looks like. It just will not fit real easily in a car. It's not going to fit in your car trunk. You're going to need a foldable version, which this is definitely not. It looks small in person, makes it a lot easier to ride. It definitely rides a little bit more like a moto scooter than a traditional e-bike, because just look at the geometry. But with that in mind, you sit in a more upright position, makes it a lot more comfortable on your back, for instance, if you're a little bit older. And also because it tops out at a speed of 20 miles per hour, you're not going to go too crazy. So even if you get it for your kids, it's going to work out a lot better for them than something that is a lot more expensive and more roadworthy. Now, as you can see, it is a 350 watt motor. And for riding around most places, that's going to be more than enough. Okay, where you might really get into trouble is if you get something that has a much higher maximum speed, like a class 3, for instance, which is not okay to ride in a lot of trails around, at least where I live. But the class 1 is going to be allowed just about everywhere. Every single trail is going to allow a class 1 pedal assist for the most part. And no one's going to just bat an eye at you because the max speed you're going to do is 20 miles per hour too. Now, if there is anything else that I think that I would prefer to improve with these, is that this does not have this features a cadence sensor. it doesn't feature a torque sensor. That's something that you're going to find in more expensive bikes typically. And what that means is that with this feels less natural. This feels like more of a motor assist. Whereas when you have something that is a torque sensor, it feels like you have more like bionic legs. If a more natural riding powered system is going to be something that you would prefer, you're looking at spending more than twice the amount for a bicycle that is comparable to that, also by Co-op Cycles, which is also on sale, and that's the Generation 2, or Gen E 2.2, 2.1 or 2.2. I've talked about this in my previous videos, but I see that maybe it's out of stock now. I feel like why this is being on discount right now is I think there's going to be a newer version that comes out. It's probably going to have somewhat similar specs, but we really don't know until it's released. And that would be the City 2.1. Okay, City E 2.1. And I think that's out of stock right now. But if you can find it in your local shop, that's something you might want to try out. It's the City E 2.2. And that one has a torque sensor. It is a completely different geometry. Here it is right here. So that is $2,200. And this has been at this relative price point for the past year or so that I've seen. So it is a 20% discount, and this rides fantastically. I've test ridden this one, but it is a different style. The first one, the 1.1 and 1.2 series, is more like a utility bike / cargo bike, does everything pretty well. This is more focused for road riding and less about cargo carrying capacity. But as you can see, it does include a rack, and that is a nice addition that's already included, whereas on many other bikes, that is a completely separate accessory. If you're interested in any of these, please check out my links down below. This sale runs through August 7th. Okay, August 7th is when this big bike sale ends. Of course, they have a bunch of other things on sale, but I just want to highlight those two bikes in particular because of what a great value they are at almost 50% off for both of these bikes. All right, that's it for this video. Please give it a like, subscribe for more. Let me know if you have any questions. If you don't have an REI near you, obviously just go online, reserve it right now for pickup. And that's just going to be cheaper because delivery is going to cost $200. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.